Hey, good Thursday morning, church. All right, I know it's Thursday and you're normally get to see Brother Ron, but Brother Ron is sick, and so I'm going to fill in for him today. I'd like to start by first saying thank you to Brother Wayne for leading us through study last week. I love his words and the way that he brought the scripture to us last week. So thank you, Brother Wayne. I want to start with something I found very interesting as we've been reading through Proverbs. We've read 3 chapters, and in these 3 chapters, we've heard one phrase 7 different times. So 7 times in the first 3 chapters, we have heard this phrase. And in chapter 4, we're going to hear it 2 more times. And I'll just give you a hint. We're going to hear it in chapter 5, and we're going to hear it in chapter 6. And so you're going to keep hearing this one phrase. And I don't know if you've picked up on it yet, but I think it's really important. And the phrase and what it means, because the phrase that I'm talking about, if you'll do this, flip to chapter 1, verse number 8, it says, "My son." And then if you look at verse number 10, it says, "My son." Look at chapter 2, verse number 1, "My son." Chapter 3, verse number 1, "My son." If you look at verse number 11, "My son." Verse number 21, "My son." You start chapter 4 with, "Hear my children." But then in verse number 10, it says, "Hear my son." And then verse number 20, it says, "My son." And the reason I want to point this out, it's not about son as in boy. You could translate that to "my child." And so as you read this, read it as you're a child of God, and God is saying to his children, "Hear my words, my children. Hear my words, my child. Pay attention to what I'm saying." And so I just encourage you to really read this and apply it to your own heart. Now, chapter 4 says this, "Hear my children." That's what it starts out with. "Hear my children." And the first 4 verses kind of setting up a theme, and you get down to verse number 5, and it says, "Get wisdom, get understanding." We're given 2 directives that we're to do. "My children, I want you to do this. I want you to get wisdom, and I want you to get understanding." And then in verse number 6, look at what it says in verse number 6. "For do not forsake her, for she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you." What is the "her" that is being referred to? It's in verse number 7, wisdom. Wisdom, if you don't forsake wisdom. Wisdom will preserve you. You got to love her. You've got to keep her. So wisdom is being painted as this person. It says, grab her. Look at verse number 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Folks, that's powerful. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Then right after that, it comes back to the second one that was mentioned, and it says, "And in all you're getting of wisdom, you also need to get understanding." And then look at what it says about understanding. "Exalt her, and she will promote you." Understanding is what helps promote you. She will bring you honor. Understanding will. When you remember her, understanding, she will place on your head an anointment of grace. You know grace? Then get understanding. And then so you kind of get a lens of what it's saying inside of chapter 4. Now, then you jump down to verse number 14. In verse number 14 through 17, it talks about 2 other things. So we first had wisdom and understanding, and now we get 2 other things, and it's evil and wicked. And so it says, "Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk with the evil. Avoid it, do not travel with it. Turn away from it." And then it says, "They do not sleep unless they have done evil." The "they" that are there are evil and wicked, and we're told to completely stay away from them. And then at the very end, they give us some very practical steps for us to take. It says in verse number 24, "Put away from you a deceitful mouth," and then it says, "a perverse lips." It says, "Look straight forward. Don't look to the right or the left. Watch your feet." In the very last few verses here, it gives us some very practical steps to take. Hey, chapter 4 is a great verse. A great chapter. Look forward to talking about tomorrow in chapter 5. May God bless, and you have a great day.